So we're supposed to be getting a couch soon. We're going to a different studio to do this.
Oh, that's cool. So we'll like sit on the couch and just like be chiller than like this. That's fun. That's fun.
I'm Arizona Family political editor Dennis Welch.
Dennis, fake news Welch. Try to tell the truth.
And this is the Politics Unplugged Podcast.
Dennis, if you have a problem with substance abuse, I am more than willing to talk to you anytime you need.
And welcome back to the Politics Unplugged Podcast. Today, Jessica Boehm returns, one of our favorite guests. Thank you for coming back here. I hope your holiday season is treating you well.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back, and it is.
And you're shopping for an extra one this year.
I am. Yeah, I was thinking the last media hit I did before my daughter was born was this very podcast, so it was a little full circle.
Yeah. So love that you're back. I hope everything's going well. Let's dive into it. Axios done some reporting this week on Senator Mark Kelly and the Department of War.
Yeah.
Department of Defense has escalated its investigation. First of all, let's unpack what does it mean that they're intensifying their investigation? I mean, what does that mean?
Nobody knows, including like the senator's staff. I think everybody's just kind of like, including the Department of Defense / War. Like I think this is like an in-name only situation until we learn more. Like right now, they're just saying like, you know, this is the next step up. Like there's like some serious allegations now. I don't know how that differs from what they said before when the president was saying that he needed to be like tried and hanged. Like how do you escalate from that? But apparently we have. But yeah, it's not clear. The Pentagon has not been clear about like what this actually means and what the outcome of this looks like or who's doing the investigating. So there are a lot more questions than answers with this news about the escalation of the investigation.
So am I right to say it's got a bit of an Animal House quality to it, you know, and the dean was like, you're on double secret probation.
Right. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that, but it's how it comes across. Now, maybe there is like a protocol that we're all unaware of that this is an escalation, but right now it kind of seems like a way to like, you know, keep the hammer on it and say that they're going deeper and there's some serious allegations here. Now, what becomes of that, I don't know. I do know that there's a lot of folks, including, of course, Mark Kelly himself, who are very concerned that the military and the like Department of Defense are using their resources in this way to investigate a former service member for essentially like something he said.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I can joke about it, Animal House jokes aside. I mean, the senator is taking this very seriously, as he should.
Sure.
He's lawyered up, and that lawyer released this, they released some statement this week. Tell us a little bit about what that statement had to say.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're taking this seriously because it seems like the Department of Defense is taking it seriously and has serious ideas of what they want to see happen. Essentially, you know, as Mark Kelly has said all along, like this is like spine chilling, you know, type of behavior and sets a really dangerous precedent that, you know, I think what makes this different, because we've seen so many, you know, over the last 10 years, political prosecutions and things like that. I think what makes this different is that it's using the military to go after someone. You know, he did not do anything specific to his military service to necessarily like warrant a military investigation. At least that is obvious to us. But I don't know. It's a very, there's like that line that was crossed with it being a military, the military element.
And this just seems to have been dragging out now for a month, and this goes back to that video he appeared in, him and was it 5 other Democrats?
Yes.
Basically just reminding sailors, soldiers, anybody in the intelligence services that not only can they, but they have an obligation to ignore illegal orders. And we're learning this week, or was it late last week, that Pete Hegseth himself, back in 2016, basically said this same exact thing, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think there have been, questions about like, why was this video necessary? And I think that's a legitimate question.
A completely fair question.
And like many of these individuals who were in the video have, conceded that there haven't been illegal orders given yet. So there is a question of like, why did you need to film this video? And I think that's a completely fair question. The bigger point, though, is like, yeah, maybe it was a weird thing to do. Maybe it was completely political, but that's allowed behavior. It's not illegal. And what they said, on its face, it's hard to understand what the illegal behavior is there that they're going after.
Yeah, because it would be like going after somebody if they went, like if like you or I went on one of those socials, just reminding people. That you have a Third Amendment right that you don't have to quarter military troops.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Third Amendment. It's my favorite amendment.
Like everyone's favorite.
Yeah, everybody's favorite amendment.
I have to remind people of it all the time.
It was probably very important to them back then. But like,
honestly, yes, I can appreciate the
I
idea
can
behind
appreciate
it.
that. But it'd be like, like kind of like if you said that and just read from it, and they're like, well, you can't be suggesting that we're, or what's illegal about it?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is like people are being like are saying that it was suggesting something more sinister, and so like yes, maybe if you read between the lines, you can find something there, but on its face, as you mentioned, Pete Hegseth has said something similar. It is the law, like it's not something that was on its face wrong. I think the question is like, how can it be interpreted? And I think the president is saying like they were saying this in a way that was meant to be interpreted that you don't have to listen to the president. That's going to be the question.
Yeah, and I think the only thing this has really done, the biggest thing it's done over the past month is really put Kelly into the presidential jackpot, right? For the potential Democratic nominee at 2020. I mean, he already had a big profile. He was on the short list for VP last year. It's done nothing but bolster his standing and his profile, right?
I think that's right. And one thing, someone asked me this week, like, there were 6 people in this video. Why are we why is Mark Kelly being the one?
He's the only one.
Here?
Yeah. He's the only one who can be on this level, so by my understanding.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense too. I guess that makes a little more sense. But beyond that, I think the reason why why the president has honed in on Mark Kelly is exactly what you're saying, that he has, presidential aspirations, or at least the appearance of them. He's, a little quiet about it, but
as they are, there's an art to this, right?
There is an art to it. What? I don't think about what's next. I'm only focused on the present. No, but obviously, he was already kind of a big name after the vice presidential stuff. His resume is, the thing of, anybody would want if you're running for office. I think there's questions about does that translate to actually being, the right candidate for the time? We'll see. That's a question.
Yeah. People knew him as the space shuttle. He had such a unique resume. I just remember the first time I interviewed him. I was like, man, this guy's been in fucking space.
Right, he's been in space. Yeah.
I just want to ask him.
Feeling.
I just want to ask him, does it smell? Does space smell? Does space smell like anything?
I actually have 0 political questions, but I have many questions about the smell of space.
I have many questions about space.
Yes. But okay, jokes aside, Astronaut, cool job.
Yeah.
It has a lot of staying power as far as the popularity or the interest in him. But yes, I think this has only elevated him. And I think it'll be interesting. Obviously, he was a part of the conversation with the vice presidential mentions last year, but I've had random people in other states be like, your senator with the Trump stuff and the investigation, so people are picking up on it outside of Arizona. I think it has given him a lot more credibility and a lot more national recognition, and maybe that comes back to bite President Trump and his allies in the butt. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like you don't hear a lot of scandal, and I could be wrong, about scandals surrounding astronauts. I mean, these are people that are really well vetted, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you have like any kind of infraction, I mean, I'm sure this is hyperbole, but like, let's say you get a parking ticket that wasn't paid.
No space for you.
You don't get on the rocket ship.
Wasn't there the woman in the diaper though? Remember her?
What's that?
The astronaut in the diaper who went to kill her boyfriend's new girlfriend.
Oh.
Colin is like calling
Colin's
your
all on it.
whole thesis into question.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that.
And she wore like her space diaper because she had to drive across the country to go attack her.
Okay, but that was post-space.
That was post-space. That is fair.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's John Glenn who got caught up in the Keating Five. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this was a bad thesis, Dennis.
Maybe I just shut the whole thesis now. I'm just saying in general.
Otherwise, pretty clean cut group.
Yeah, otherwise pretty clean. If you take campaign finance violations and diapers away,
Potential diaper murder.
potential.
Allegedly. I don't even know what we're talking about.
We're going
I don't
deep on
remember
this one
story,
on the back half. We're going to go deep on that one.
Oh gosh.
I will start Googling.
Thank you. I need more information.
But yeah, I mean, but I was just saying, most of these people are like vetted pretty well, and
Yeah.
it's like they're not the kinds of people that go out there and start screaming for insurrections or anything like that.
And I don't think that's how Mark Kelly has been generally either. He's generally looked at as a pretty moderate, like not super inflammatory person comparatively to other Democrats who are posturing for president. And so that kind of made the whole thing a little more bizarre. It's not like he was going after someone who was so, you know what I'm saying. Like, that was so intense and like obviously like, anti-Trump and everything else. Like Mark Kelly is a pretty like even-keeled dude for the most part. And so I think that's what has also added some intrigue to this was like, the astronaut?
Yeah. And he's also a guy too, and I don't know anything, but it would not shock me if it turned out like if we learned that, for most of his life he was voting for Republican candidates.
Yeah.
In a different time. I mean, he's just a really straightforward.
I think that's even.
I think he would tell you he's conservative on a lot of things.
Right.
Aside, I mean, being a Democrat from Arizona is different than being a Democrat from
Correct.
Massachusetts, but it is interesting. I can't wait for the next 3 years to watch the gamesmanship between Gallego and Kelly. They have two senators like from Arizona.
I know. I like was calling people the other week and I was like, do you think they'd both run? And everyone was like, I'm not going to talk to you about that.
No.
And I was like, do you think though? Wouldn't that be interesting?
Just tell me yes.
Yeah.
Sources say.
Sources say. Someone I coerced. No, I'm just kidding.
Someone I coerced.
You will note that I did not write that story.
No,
I did not coerce
We're having
anyone.
fun here. We're having
but,
a little fun here.
Yes.
But I mean, both of them is definitely expressed interest in moving up the political corporate ladder.
I think that's been a bigger surprise, not a huge surprise, but like a bit of a surprise for me this year when I was thinking about like some of the more surprising things that have happened. I like both of them, like I can understand the appeal and see the path for each of them, but I didn't expect both of them to have such high profiles so quickly.
Because the national media love themselves some Ruben.
Oh, they do.
Ruben Gallego. Oh,
Ruben
they
Gallego
love Ruben talking about pickup trucks and, and going to
yeah.
rodeos.
Which is also kind of just like a misunderstanding of like the national media being like, in rural Arizona, like in Phoenix. And I'm like, the fifth largest city in the country.
I hate the way, by and large, I've hated the way for years the national media portrays Arizona. It's just it's just all like anywhere you go is like the opening of some trite like country like Western movie where it's like there's dust and wind and tumbleweeds and then you hear the rattlesnake.
Yeah, I've seen like one rattlesnake in my life. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is probably more than most people, but still.
They don't want to be seen, folks.
Yeah. If I can tell the national media one thing, it's that rattlesnakes are not as big a deal as you think they are.
No,
Scorpions now. I get those in my house all the time.
Yeah, I'm not going to curse myself, but I will say I've been blessed in the sense that I've never really had to deal with scorpions.
Yeah, you are blessed. I hate those guys. I really do. They're like I get super EBGB about it. But all that being said, yes, there is a misunderstanding of Arizona in general, and like our independence, and like we're so maverick, and I don't know, it gets a little overplayed. Like I understand it, and like we also kind of like play it up. So like we are to blame, but there's a lot of misunderstanding about Arizona, but I also think there's a lot of intrigue about Arizona. Hence, you have people
a ton of intrigue at Arizona. It's a lot more nuanced, and they always want to paint us as a purple state, and we're not a purple state. It's still a very conservative state. Even the Democrats, by and large, can be very conservative. Case in point, look at the governor running on a MAGA campaign. She's running on MAGA stuff. Tough on the border, Trump's tax cuts. Yeah. What's her branding her campaign Arizona first? I mean,
as you've said, like an Arizona Democrat is much different than a Democrat in other states. And I think in large part that's why Ruben Gallego and Mark Kelly are so appealing, because they seem to be able to speak to people that aren't, necessarily going to get in line for AOC and Bernie Sanders. Yeah,
and they look at Ruben as someone who's like a Democrat from a right-leaning state. Like, how did he do that? Well, he had a flawed candidate that he ran against. I mean, not to take anything away from the victories,
but it's an important point of context.
It really is. I mean, if the Republican Party had put up somebody, I mean, even a Doug Ducey probably would have done a lot better than
it would have been a lot closer.
It would have been.
It could have gone either way.
So there you go, Doug. We shouted. We name checked you. We just name checked Doug.
Classic Doug. I have a funny story about Doug Ducey that I've never told publicly. Would you like to hear it?
Please, yes.
It's actually more of a funny story about me than it is about him. He certainly does not remember this, but when I was in college, baby journalist, I was working on a story about some education initiative that he was on the no side of, I think. But at the time, he was...
Probably 1, 2, 3.
It was before that.
Okay.
I think... it would have been 20.
Oh, before he was governor then.
Yes, it was before he was governor. He was the treasurer of Arizona. And
I know what you're talking about.
Yes. And I reached out, to both sides, doing my due diligence. And someone from the No campaign wrote back to me on Facebook, I think is where I had reached out to them and was like, hey, someone will give you a call shortly to talk about this. And so someone gives me a call and they're like, hi, this is Doug Ducey. And I was like, okay. I was like, and
I'm very important.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't saying it like that. He just thought I knew who he was. And I was like, okay. I was like, Doug, can I ask where you're calling from? And he goes, my car. And I was like, no, like what organization? And he was like, oh, I'm with the No on whatever. And he was like, but I'm also the treasurer of Arizona. And I was like, oh. I was like the most mortified I'd ever. And I was like, of course, yes, I know.
Oh.
But I did not know. Anyways, from then on, I have memorized every politician in the state of Arizona. But that is, for all the baby journalists out there, sometimes you make a few mistakes.
I mean, there was a time when the Arizona treasurer was a dead-end job.
Yeah.
The only time he ever got in the headlines was because of some sort of scandal.
Right.
And that changed when Dean Martin, former Senator Dean Martin. My favorite story about Senator Dean Martin is he served in the same Senate as Senator Jerry Lewis.
Really?
Swear to God.
I didn't know that.
You got Martin and Lewis in the Senate.
I love it.
All right, let's switch gears heavily.
All right.
I want to talk about restaurants and Michelin stars because you wrote about this week, and I was very excited.
Yeah,
because we're getting Michelin stars, baby.
We're getting Michelin stars. It's happening.
But it's not what you think. You got to pay for this crap, right?
Yeah. So, and this is all kudos to the Phoenix New Times and the Arizona Republic's food and dining teams. I learned that you actually the reason we haven't gotten Michelin stars before is not necessarily because we are not worthy of them, but actually because the Michelin Guide only comes to places where they are paid to come.
Really? That's
I
kind of
know.
disappointing. It's like
It made
it's
me
like
a little sad.
it makes me think of that quote in the Rocky movie, Rocky 1.
Now you're all on the quotes today.
Yeah, right. When
Give it to me.
when he said when he's collecting money, you want to dance, you got to pay the band.
Gosh. Well, it did. It gave me a little bit of a sad vibe, but I will say, while we had Visit Phoenix and the similar. You're still laughing at yourself.
No, I'm laughing at Rocky.
So Visit Phoenix and similar tourism groups in Salt Lake City and Las Vegas, they kind of pooled collectively to have the Michelin Guide come to the Southwest. I think it's a worthy thing.
Yeah, no,
it makes a lot of sense. And I will say, as much as it felt a little pay to play when I heard about it, and I was a little sad, the restaurants themselves have no knowledge of the inspectors.
They're not paying.
It's just to get them to come to the region. And I suppose when you think this is an international thing, they can't just be hopping all over the country trying restaurants, but they should. But so anyways, it's and also the Michelin inspectors are famously anonymous, right? They have no way of knowing who it is. So the vibe I'm getting is that all the restaurants are really stepping up their game, because you or I could go in and they wouldn't know. Maybe we are Michelin inspectors.
Oh, I want them to think I'm a Michelin inspector.
Right? I'm what
How
can
do you
I
do that? How do you do this?
subtly be could I would just like to ask the chef a couple of questions.
Just show up by yourself with a notepad.
I know.
And one of those pens with a light on it.
Right.
And taking notes.
Right. You're what an interesting mouthfeel. You're just saying random things. Oh my gosh. But
I love the texture. I love the texture of this.
You're could I speak to the chef? I have a couple questions about the mouthfeel.
Yeah, because I saw there's a show on Apple called Knife's Edge or something like that, and I saw a couple episodes of that. And it's about restaurants that are chasing Michelin stars.
Okay.
And it is what it is. If you're into food stuff, you'll enjoy
fun.
it. Yeah. I was saying earlier, I officially want to put my name in. I don't know how to apply for a Michelin star reviewer.
Yeah.
But I would like to apply.
Why not?
I mean, I could do that as a side hustle, right?
I feel we should both.
You too.
Yeah, I would love to be a Michelin reviewer, and I think we are superbly qualified. Our palates are superb.
Except for my hatred of mushrooms.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. I think that automatically disqualifies me from A, being a foodie, and B, probably from a Michelin star reviewer.
Yeah, I wouldn't have admitted that. What if? I'm sure that the Venn diagram of Politics Unplugged listeners and Michelin inspectors are just a circle. So you just admitted to your possible former employer that you're not really qualified.
Right? I could lie in the interview, right? We all do, right? It's just a different. Can you imagine the interview for that? What's your greatest weakness? It's just, I love mushrooms so much.
Yeah, you're I think that I'm such a fan of mushrooms could get in the way of my ability to be a judge.
But I just love mushrooms.
You know what's weird is I had a super big hatred of mushrooms as well. And a year ago, something just switched in my brain.
Oh, okay. No. I wish I could, man. I feel like I'm missing out on things. I try every few years. I'm okay, maybe this is the year.
This is the year. Have you tried them in butter? That was really what did it for me.
It's the texture thing.
The texture.
The mouthfeel. It's the mouthfeel. Just
Got it.
And maybe and I don't know.
So a gateway mushroom for you is
gateway mushrooms.
Wren House has a German beer hall component out in Ahwatukee. And they do oyster mushrooms that are breaded to be like chicken tenders. They call them like mushroom tenders,
Oh,
and
okay.
they really do taste like chicken tenders. So
All right, so
a gateway mushroom for
a
you.
gateway mushroom. So you do the mushroom tenders,
Yeah.
and then like next thing you know it, I'm on to French truffles.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, do you not like truffle, like in stuff, like truffle flavor?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm
Again,
fine with
it's the
that.
mouthfeel.
It's the whole thing. But like, I would officially like to put my hat in my hat, and my name in the hat. Toss it into the restaurant ring and review for Michelin star.
Right. I mean, we have so many great restaurants here. Like, I'm very excited to see who gets a Michelin star.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously have lots of fine dining, but we have some really great like new chefs that have come onto the scene. I'm a huge fan of Chilty. Have you been there?
No.
Oh my gosh, the chef there is wonderful.
What is this place?
Chilty. It's on Grand Avenue.
Okay. There's a lot of good restaurants going up
yes.
on Grand Avenue.
Yes, there sure is. This is at the I think it's called like Egyptian Motor Lodge or
Mhm.
something. It's in that building, and it is fabulous. It is, and he was a James Beard, if not a winner, a finalist a few years ago, and he is just really remarkable. I'm really excited. I hope that he's a Michelin winner. That's my prediction. But, you know, I have not yet been to Lam Wang's, but that has gotten tons of recognition.
Okay.
An obvious stop for a Michelin inspector or someone pretending to be one. But
Remember, display your pad prominently.
right, just like sitting there. Yeah. But
And maybe speak with a French accent. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
a dead giveaway. Yeah. Did you know? I had no idea. This is so embarrassing that Michelin was created by the tire company.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't put those two
Well, that's
things
that,
together.
that's the whole thing. It's like, why do they need money? Doesn't they make enough money off their guides and tires? So why do you got to pay them for reviews?
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. I have nothing to add to. Like, I don't know any new restaurants. I wish I knew more new restaurants. I kind of like.
Well, you got to go to Chilty.
I'll have to go to Chilton because, like, to me, I mean, I think I would say, you know, the Harvey Weinberger probably deserves a Michelin.
This is why,
You
you are proving why you cannot be a reviewer.
You ever had that?
Oh yeah,
it's
I'm
amazing.
I'm not saying that they're not worthy, but you're raising a couple questions about your knowledge.
Starting to question your palate.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't know. We're gonna bring Colin in. Do you have any recommendations, Colin?
Have you been to Chilty?
I have not been to Chilty, no. By the way, if you told someone 30 years ago that there's a great restaurant that's attached to the Egyptian Motor Lodge,
I know.
would they have looked at you like you're crazy?
Yeah, they'd be like, "Don't go there."
Yeah.
30 years ago.
My culinary favorites are more like Lulu's Taco Shop in Gilbert. Like that's
Okay.
more my steez than things likely to get a 3-star for Michelin.
Yeah, shouldn't there be like a low end
Well,
Michelin, like a
There's
everyman, you know, every person.
Like
Yeah.
Toyo tires, like Yokohama instead of Michelin.
Yes, perfect.
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's actually a great marketing opportunity for that tire company. Don't give away that idea.
Yamaha star.
My gosh. But there is a type of Michelin star. I can't remember the name of it.
Didn't the Michelin guy, doesn't he have a name? Didn't that come up recently, Colin?
Yes, Bibendum,
That's it.
the Michelin guy. Because I was so pleased with myself for making a joke that no one would get, but I thought it was really clever. There was that tire fire the other day,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
and I said they voted for a new Bibendum,
Oh.
which is like
That's
You're
fucking
right.
I
great.
thought
Didn't
was
get it,
brilliant
but
if
it
you
is
know
funny.
who he is, but no one know who he is.
Yeah.
But the Michelin guy's name's Bibendum.
Bibendum.
I think they
Bibendum.
sometimes call him Bip.
Bip. But there is a type, so there's like Michelin stars, and then there's another level of category that's like, it's kind of what you're talking about. It's not a lower level. It's just like, you know, it's not for fine dining. It's like a different level.
Places
And
with a drive-through.
yeah, that's actually one of the qualifications. No, but look, I'm all for like the nice restaurants, but I still I ate a Taco Bell last night, so like question my palate too. I don't know.
Look, man, there are times when Taco Bell is the right thing.
I eat a Taco Bell like twice a week. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Now I'm older now. I eat a lot of soup.
Is that the sign of getting old?
Yeah.
Is soup?
I think it's one of the
The
signs.
Taco Bell to soup arc.
It's like, am I exiting the third quarter?
Oh,
am I
no.
heading into the fourth quarter? Because I like soup all of a sudden. It's easy to digest. I
Oh
don't
my
feel bloated.
gosh, Dennis. The soup. I mean, I love a soup. I'm not anti-soup, but
No,
I
no.
didn't know that was a sign of aging.
I'm just
Yikes.
assuming because I'm getting older, and the older I get, the more I like soup.
Okay.
You know, it's just easier. It's easier on the system. You know,
That's fair.
You know, and like I like a good lentil right now, a good Italian wedding. That's a good
okay.
soup. And,
Look, I love lentils. I'm not anti-soup. I actually am pro-soup.
soup.
I am.
Yeah. We'll have to be wrapping up. We have went way overboard.
Whoa. Is this your last show of the year? I hope so.
No, we've got
no.
we're doing one for next week.
Okay.
And we're going to do the RIP in Peace special, where we're going to shout out some of our favorite musicians who may have passed away over the past, or who did pass away over the previous year.
Okay.
So we'll be revealing that list, and then
Well, that sounds fun.
next week it'll be Colin and I, and then hopefully we'll also get a chance to name check Eric Clapton, which is always fun because I'm not a fan.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Any chance I get, I like to dunk on Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
You know,
It's
I
an
think.
interesting vibe, but okay.
Well, yeah, and most people are like, "Oh, how come you don't like Clapton? Because he sucks." And because he sucks.
That's the long and short of it.
Well, it's a long thing. I mean, he's got a history of saying some really inappropriate stuff about immigration in England.
Okay.
He's culturally appropriated, I guess would be the word. A lot of his songs.
Interesting.
He's ripped off a lot of his songs.
Well, that's not great.
And he has just proved over and over to be a total douche. But that's a much longer conversation.
Okay.
You know.
Well, on the music front, have you been to / heard of the coolest new music venue in Arizona? I'm not kidding. La Rosa in Tucson. Have you heard of it?
No, I've not been down to
It's
Tucson.
Charlie Levy's new project.
Okay.
And Charlie is behind the Van Buren, Crescent Ballroom, Valley Bar. It is in an old restored Benedictine monastery. It is gorgeous. And
Okay.
I saw the Gin Blossoms in the format there on Monday night.
Oof.
It was incredible. It's a 750-person venue, very intimate, very cool.
Gin Blossom's format.
Yeah, it was
Taking
amazing.
Arizona back. The only thing missing
Yeah.
from that was Jimmy Eat World.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. And when I saw the format a few months ago, Jimmy Adkins was there. So,
There you
it's
go.
the trifecta.
There you go. And to think, I remember Charlie when he was just a show promoter.
Yeah. He's been such a iconic part of the Arizona live music scene for
Yes.
so long. So he
Now he's
Yeah.
he's a bigwig, a big business owner in downtown Phoenix.
Yeah. now he has La Rosa in Tucson.
It was just weird, like starting to see, like I think his name would pop up sometimes on some campaign contribution stuff.
Yeah.
And like people you've known or known of for a long
Yeah.
time, you're like, oh God, you're like, what is this?
Right. Yeah. It's like when worlds meld, you're
Yeah.
like,
Wait a minute.
you have a political opinion?
Yeah, like
You're a music guy.
like every time I see Kimber Lanning,
yeah.
it's like, she's the local business, local first,
Local
and
first.
she's done a great job with that. But it's like I bought my first hardcore record off you.
That's so funny.
It's like maybe I've been here too long.
Yeah. Maybe it's soup time for you.
No, God damn, I can't believe I admitted that on the podcast. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe it's because I'm getting older. I like soup.
And I support.
I think I think maybe we should end on that.
Yeah, I don't think
I
it
don't
can
think
get
we
better
I don't
than
think we can get better than. I mean, that's good. That's
Yikes.
quality podcasting right there.
Yikes.
It's when we start
Yeah.
talking about soup.
Yeah.
That's just quality podcasting. Anything else before we leave? Any other restaurants, maybe that's not new, that's established, that you think should deserve some consideration for Michelin star?
Oh man. Well, you can't count out Chris Bianco. I love him, love his stuff. Another really cool guy in the Valley. And then, this one's been around for a while. I've actually never been, but it's on my bucket list for next year. Christopher's at Wrigley Mansion. I have heard amazing things.
I've only been there for the brunch, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Was
it Michelin quality?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Well, that's not a glowing review.
I mean, I think it was the brunch, and I think when you go and pay for it, it's going to be good.
Sure.
I mean, have you ever had a terrible brunch?
No. Breakfast food is just hard to mess up.
It was really, you got to work at screwing it up.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, so I don't remember it being an exception. I don't remember it being bad or anything like that.
Okay.
So, I mean, the only restaurant I'm looking forward to going to now is the reopening of Durant's.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that as well.
It's near my house.
Okay. So you can go back for soup.
I can go back for soup. I don't know if they have soup on the menu. I haven't checked. That'll be my review when it come on the pot. And like, oh, the steak was great, but it really needed some soup to wash it down.
Alrighty.
You got me hungry now. It's around lunchtime. It'd be good right now. It's a good chicken noodle.
I had a tomato basil the other day.
Ooh.
It was good. It was from Fry's. It wasn't to write home about, but it was, it did its job.
There you go.
Grilled cheese, tomato basil.
Exactly. Perfect. Right there.
Yeah.
Right there. All right. Well, a wrap on that. Thank you so much. Always a delight.
you.
Great to see you.
Holidays.
Happy holidays. We'll see you next year.
See you next year.
All right.
Bye.
Welcome back to the second half of the Politics Unplugged podcast. As always, joined by the great Colin Stanton. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. You?
I'm doing okay, man. That was a lot of fun. Jessica's always a great guest.
She's great. Yeah.
That is just I think that was it was a good segment. We had a lot of laughs.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody listening to it's going to enjoy it, but I sure did.
Yes. No, she's always great. A frequent flyer on the podcast.
But yeah, let's start with you. You did we got basically a fact check from you on this, from something we spoke about in the first
well,
half.
you're saying you never hear about astronauts getting in trouble, and I did mention the diaper incident.
Yeah,
I don't think you guys necessarily remember.
You dug deep into it.
Well, yeah. Here's the Google AI overview. It was former NASA astronaut Lisa Nowak, 2007. She drove 900 miles to attack a rival for astronaut William Opeline's affection, who I believe was the rival woman was also an astronaut. So Lisa Nowak drove 900 miles wearing a diaper to avoid bathroom stops, later pleaded guilty to burglary and battery after pepper spraying her rival, resulting in dismissal from NASA and probation. She was wearing a trench coat and a wig, I believe. She had the diaper on so she wouldn't have to hit the bathroom. She had a steel mallet and a knife in her car. She had to write a letter of apology as well.
Again, my thesis completely shattered.
I mean, I think we can probably say the 900-mile diaper-clad drive to attack a romantic rival
It's out of the norm.
Probably an outlier.
Out of the norm. Yeah.
You don't hear about that all that often.
Same with Glenn. Getting caught up in the jungle.
Yes. Or financial scandal. Yes. Assault wearing a diaper. Financial scandal.
One of the largest financial scandals of the late 20th century, of the late 1900s.
Yeah. So if you eliminate those two.
All right. Thank you for that. It's funny. I didn't. You said her name. I didn't think about it. I didn't remember. But as soon as she said drove 900 miles in a diaper, I'm like, oh, I remember that story.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's a detail that you can't shake it.
No.
No.
I mean, you still have to get gas. I don't know.
Dude,
she's been through enough.
I wonder what she's doing now.
I don't know.
All right, let's make the hard transition then. We'll talk from diapers and astronauts, and let's talk a little bit about last week. We love to mix pop culture and politics, and the president did that for us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was a very dark last week. Very sad news, very dark news that Rob Reiner and his wife were murdered.
Yeah.
and their son is in custody now, accused of that. Very sad time, but president decided to weigh in on his Truth Social and basically blaming Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
Before we knew any other facts of the
Right.
case, blaming Trump derangement syndrome for the murder.
And then once we knew the facts of the case, he doubled down on it.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. Yeah, I mean, when you have Fox News commentators hitting social media to go, wow, that's really despicable. It tells you something about the tone.
It drew some heavy bipartisan fire to a point, to an extent. Like, I was surprised by that, because I'm to the point where, like, well, he is just a few months ago. It felt like, and I think he did have a very, the party in a tight grip.
Yeah.
To come out against Rob Reiner the way he did on that, I mean, it really kind of backfired.
Yeah.
And I was
It
surprised
did.
at
It
the
was a
backlash.
repellent comment.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that, except it was a horrifying, disgusting thing to say.
Yeah.
And he doubled down on it when he had a chance to try and be a little more human about it.
Yeah, and I think everything that could be said about that comment has been said, and I don't think we need to go down that road anymore and, break it down word for word. I think what it did for me, and I think for you, is like, maybe take a minute here to discuss some of our favorite Rob Reiner movies.
Yeah. His first 7 films are just an absolutely remarkable streak of just great movies.
Mm-hmm.
Great and the first one out of the chute is one of my absolute favorite comedies of all time, if not my favorite. This is Spinal Tap.
Mm-hmm.
That's his first one. I don't know if I've seen any movie more than I've seen Spinal Tap. It's easily top 3 for me.
And in a weird way, it kind of created its own genre for the reality TV to come, the way that it was shot.
Yes. And Christopher Guest, one of the stars of it, certainly took that and ran with it, with Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show, his films.
And I'll tell you, too, I mean, if you talk to any musician that's been on tour, big or small, I mean, some of that stuff hits really close to home.
Yeah.
It's much more of a real life documentary than it is like some satire on it, because, I mean, there's a lot there.
Yeah. No, it's a great, hilarious movie. And apparently the script for it was about 2 pages long. The whole thing is ad-libbed. It's just they created scenes and ad-libbed the scenes, and they're brilliant.
Yeah, so some of the other movies in his first 7.
So the first 7 is This is Spinal Tap, The Sure Thing, not necessarily going in order here, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, Misery, and Stand By Me.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a preposterous start to a directing career after he already had a very well established acting career.
Any director would kill to have 3 movies that well known and that well and that beloved. I mean, some of those movies are just loved.
Yes.
I mean, I think younger boomers, Gen Xers, and maybe older millennials, I mean, a lot of those movies played a big part of your life because they were just always around. I mean, when you start talking about Stand By Me, I mean, that was a quintessential movie that came out around the time I was those kids' age.
Yeah.
And it was a really it was just a really great movie, based on an old Stephen King story, and we don't need to go down that tangent, but one of the few great Stephen King movies.
And Stephen King loved it.
Yeah.
Which he generally, I mean, he didn't even like The Shining. And he loved Stand By Me.
Yeah.
And it's easy to forget now, but that was in an era where a movie based on a Stephen King book, you had to kind of assume it was going to be terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not. It's great.
And he did too. He did Misery, and Misery is a great.
Yeah.
And one of the things you notice from Rob Reiner is there's always really great performances.
Yeah.
So that tells you like he is getting, he's getting the most out of these actors.
Even a bunch of kids in Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just the diversity of what he did was amazing because I mean that first 7 films, you're looking at arguably the best comedy of the era. I think it is, but it's certainly one of them.
Which one is that?
The Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
But then
I guess Princess Bride is.
I would say that's probably the best fantasy film of the era. Best romantic comedy. I don't know that you top When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
You know, coming of age film Stand By Me is about as good as it gets. You know, that's a remarkable run.
It is, and you know, other well-known or great directors, they're known for a certain kind of genre, like Scorsese. Has got a kind of a thing he does, and he's
the
known
mob,
for
Goodfellas, Mean Streets thing,
and he'll go outside that. But even some of that is not that far. Like Raging Bull isn't, even though it's a movie about a boxer, it's not that far away from like what he does.
Yes, if you say Scorsese film, you have an idea of what it is.
Yes,
you say Rob Reiner film, that could be anything.
Yeah,
but they're almost uniformly very good.
And important to people, and that's why I think like it's been interesting, the reaction politically to this. Like this hasn't been one of those he says something insensitive and people move on. Like it goes through its 20-minute Twitter cycle, and there's a couple of discussions on the cable news shows, and then it goes away. Like this has been a real thing for I mean a lot longer than normal for these types of controversies.
And you know, certainly Rob Reiner was an active and outspoken political figure,
100%,
who couldn't be more, you know, diametrically opposed to Trump politically. At the same time, like Republicans loved Princess Bride too. You know,
that was my go-to. If I was home and I wasn't feeling well or whatnot, I'd throw Princess Bride. I mean, we were talking to you. You brought this up. Like, how many quotes are just said almost on a daily basis from any of those movies?
From any of those movies. You know, Spinal Tap, This Goes to 11. But I mean, I can probably recite the entire film, but that's, everyone knows that This Goes to 11. We used to have a managing editor in the newsroom who every time someone left to go shoot a story, she would yell, "Have fun storming the castle." Yeah. Which is Princess Bride.
Or I'll have what she's having.
I'll have what she's having. One of the greatest lines ever thrown into a movie.
You
When Harry Met Sally.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle, yes. And you know who delivers that? I'll have what she's having line, right?
That's his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. At Cat's Deli.
Yes. I just appreciate that he's looking out for his mom there.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, they're, you know, a great bunch of films.
Oh yeah.
And I bring this up because I just find this amusing. So Rob Reiner's dad, Carl Reiner, who is widely considered one of the absolute funniest people to ever live, just died a couple years ago, at the age of 100. His best friend is Mel Brooks, who is also brilliantly funny.
I think one of the all-time great friendships in Hollywood has got to be those two.
They had dinner every night together until Carl passed, and Mel's in his late 90s. Yeah. Rob's best friend in high school, who was apparently over all the time, was Albert Brooks. No relation to Mel. If you're familiar with Albert Brooks's work, Albert Brooks is a comedic genius. So, you know, after school at the Reiner house, it would frequently be Carl Reiner, Mel Brooks, Rob Reiner, Albert Brooks, just hanging out, making each other laugh, which had to be amazing. And the other three all agreed the funniest one of the group was Albert Brooks, which, you know, he was a high school kid in some pretty esteemed company.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I was in that situation, you know, when I was that age. I couldn't even talk around those guys.
Yes. Yeah, but to some extent, that's, you know, it's Rob's dad and it's Buddy Mel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be wildly intimidating. But
yeah, one of the great all-time friendships there. I mean, and Rob Reiner came out of all that. And you know, he still looked pretty good. He was getting older at 78, but he still looked pretty good. Yeah. And like, I feel like we've been cheated out of something. Maybe there was another movie left in him or something like that. And and like, take the politics out. You can enjoy those movies.
Yes, and I have not heard a single person say anything halfway negative about him. Everyone who met him loved the guy.
Yeah.
Talked about how great he was to
James
work
Woods.
with. But just, yes.
James Woods, who is one of the most conservative Republicans in Hollywood.
Yes. Went on at length on Fox News about how much Rob Reiner meant to him and how Rob Reiner was willing to work with him when other people weren't. Because it's easy to forget now that James Wood has become sort of a professional Hollywood victim politically. He was unhireable before anyone knew his politics. He's got a lot of history there.
He hasn't helped himself with his social media presence.
No. But long before Trump was back when Trump was a Democrat, James Woods was unhireable in Hollywood for his behavior that had nothing to do with any political view. And he said Rob Reiner was, willing to help him, work with him, hire him. And he was forever grateful. And for James Woods to say that,
that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, and it says something too about something larger that we should maybe all be thinking about, because it's been so many years of like this intense polarization, And here's a guy, Rob Reiner, wore his politics on his sleeves, out front with it, But he wasn't willing. He wasn't going to prevent that from having a relationship or a friendship with somebody like that. And I think there are ways to do that.
Yeah.
And, maybe there's something else there. Maybe there's more of a legacy there to learn from Rob Reiner than just this great body of work he leaves behind.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know if we're going to have time to get to any sports talk today.
Talk a little Suns with a big win over the Warriors last night as we tape this on a Friday.
On a Friday, yeah. Brooks...
So everyone has fallen in love with Dylan Brooks.
You got to take the good with the bad, though, man.
Yes. And every once in a while, if you're willing to look, you're getting reminders of why Memphis wanted him the hell off the roster.
Yeah.
He is a great culture guy. He has made them more competitive. He is fiery. He sets a tone. He does all of that.
Better scored than I thought.
Yes. And he loves shooting. Sometimes that's great when they're going in. He's not always the most discriminate, but he's played it at a level that has people talking about him like a potential all-star, which I don't think it's going to happen, but that's how good he's been. He's been terrific, and as a culture guy, he's wonderful and all that. He also needs, on occasion, to realize just how stupid it is to be doing that stuff at crunch time. Yeah. Last night, they were up 5 very late in the game.
Well, I really thought this mistake was going to cost them the game.
And I mean, it kind of did in an earlier game against the Lakers this week. Yeah. But this one was, he went out to try and block a three-pointer from Steph Curry, and as he flew past him, pulled his arm back and whacked him in the gut. And the announcers went on at length about how, we know this is going to be a flagrant because it's Dylan, and they're out to get Dylan, so I'm sure this is going to be a flagrant, and eventually had to acknowledge, well, it's also a flagrant because it was a blatant, stupid foul that turned into a 5-point play. And they were down 5 when he did it. And so they eked out the win, but that absolutely could have cost them.
Yeah.
And earlier in the week, in a game where everyone complained about the officiating was not good. That overshadowed the fact that he hit a shot to go up 1 on the Lakers in the closing seconds, and immediately afterwards got into LeBron's face and chest bumped him and stuff and got teed up for it. And he wanted a foul call on the play, and it should have been. LeBron fouled him. But don't go up and get a technical immediately after taking the lead, after making a big comeback. What are you doing?
I know. And that's one later in the year that if you miss the play-in or the playoffs by one game, a couple of games, you're going to look back and go, oof, that's a tough one. But I love the guy. I love his game. He's brought a lot, and the Suns have really been a real bright spot in the Arizona sports scene that has been pretty dark.
It's been bleak, and they're doing great.
Yeah,
they had a really easy schedule to start the year and put together a great record. But they weren't expected to do anything. So even against an easy schedule, that was great. And the schedule's toughened, and they're hanging in there. You know, I don't know how many people at the start of the year would have said they were going to beat the Warriors in this game, and they did. It was close, and that's great. The fact that they're hanging in those games,
shorthanded still.
And yes, they've had Jalen Green for like 1.5 games all year. Booker didn't contribute all that much last night.
Yep.
Still beat the Warriors, so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best anyone could have reasonably hoped for was they'd be a play-in team this year, and they're well on their way to being a play-in team this year. So
It's
good
a
for them.
bright spot.
That's great. Jordan Ott seems like he's doing a great job coaching them. They finally landed on someone they can keep for more than a year.
Yeah, because the Cardinals were a great disappointment this year.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks were a disappointment this year too. I'm hoping. I'm hoping they can do better this year, maybe with the expectations tempered a little bit. But the one bright spot has been, I think, the Suns, particularly after the last couple of seasons. It's been fun to watch a team that actually cares about. You get a sense that they care about it. The prior iteration, the 2 years before, seemed like it was a bunch of kids that were just too cool for school.
Yeah. No, they're infinitely more fun to watch. Yeah. It's a really good year for the Suns so far.
All right, you want to wrap up there? We're about out
Let's
of
wrap up
time.
there.
Apparently, I'm going to get out of here and go eat some soup.
Yeah. Something you don't have to chew? Is that what you're doing? Yeah, we'll wrap up over the next 2 weeks. Merry Christmas to people. Happy Hanukkah. Enjoy your holidays.
Enjoy your holidays.
We're going to tape a special politics-free music thing next week that should drop. I don't know if it's going to. I don't know when it's going to drop, but there will be over the next 2 weeks. We won't be totally gone. We'll have a special music-related thing. So enjoy the holidays with your friends and families. We'll see you next year, probably. Yeah. Happy New Year.
All right. Happy New Year to you.
Thanks for listening. You can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, the Google Store, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. See you next time.